Hello, everyone. Happy Black History Month. This is the third week. This is crazy. This month is going by fast, which I always say that every month kind of goes by fast anyway. So, hopefully, you're celebrating Black History Month. You're looking at Black movies, you're reading Black books, which I want to talk about a bunch of books next week. So, stay tuned for that. And speaking of books by Black people, What If I Ruled the World? Poems inspired by music, my obligatory self promotion, written by me, linked in my link tree, linked in the description. If you want to support a Black woman during Black History Month, not to guilt trip you, but you should check it out. And I also have a video reading some of the poems as well. So, if you want a little help a sister out during Black History Month. All right. So now we're here to talk about Poetic Justice, which I watched for the first time ever. I know my Black card during Black History Month will be revoked. I do understand that. I don't want it to be revoked, but I finally watched it. So it's a romantic drama, and the synopsis is its plot follows a poet, played by Janet Jackson, mourning the loss of her boyfriend from gun violence, who goes on a road trip from South Los Angeles to Oakland on a mail truck, along with her friend, played by Regina King, and two postal workers, played by Tupac Shakur and Joe Torre, in order to deal with depression. So that's the main synopsis. It was released July 23rd, 1993. I would have been like 1.5 because my birthday's in October. I was born in 91. It's directed and I think also written by John Singleton. And the cast, I'm just going to give you the four main people. Yep, because I don't feel like reading all the rest of them. But Janet Jackson as Justice, the movie's named after her. A poet and hairdresser. Tupac Shakur is Lawrence Lucky, a letter carrier and aspiring rapper. Regina King as Aisha, Justice's friend. And Joe Torre as Chicago, who is the other mail carrier and also technically Aisha's boyfriend. So yeah, there's other like characters, but that's all we're gonna. Oh, and then there's Q-Tip as Markel Justice's boyfriend who gets uh, shot in the beginning of the movie. I hope that was not like too much of a spoiler, but yeah, it is what it is. It's like in the first 5 minutes. And where can you watch it? So I watched it on Tubi, and it's free on Tubi. You can also watch it on Pluto TV, which I think is also free, but don't quote me on that. Google Play Movies and TV, YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Fandango at home. All right, so I'm going to go with my pros and my cons and my overall opinion. So my first pro is the acting. I feel like everybody did a great job. I feel like Janet Jackson and Tupac's chemistry was really great together. I feel like what was his name? Joe Torre, who plays Chicago, and Regina King. I think like Regina King. Regina King is always pretty good when she's acting in anything. And then Joe Torre did a really good job as Chicago. And yeah, I feel like everybody did a great job. There's another cameo on this by somebody famous, really famous, but we'll get to that later. But I think everybody did a great job. Even the side characters, like the Lucky's family members and his aunt, and like his mom, and then he had like baby mama drama, and so that character was crazy. And then she had another crazy boyfriend. Um, so I think everybody did a great job together, and it felt very realistic. Like this is what people were like, in California at the time. Like it didn't seem forced. And then the music, I really love the music, how he incorporated John Singleton incorporated like I feel like it was like they were R&B, rap, with some jazz type music. It was really good music, like and set the tone and set like what was happening, like and like really added to the tone of like whatever the scene needed. Okay, and the cinematography. So I'm gonna note to editing stuff. I'm gonna insert some pictures. So there is like these mountains that they stop at. Like they stop like 3 times. So there's like these mountains that they stop at, and it's like so beautiful. But they were kind of arguing at the edge, and I was like, "What are y'all doing?" Now I'm afraid of heights, so that scene I was like, listen, don't let nobody flip over the edge. But that was a really beautiful scene, so I'm gonna insert that picture. And then it was like a beach mountain place where Janet Jackson's character Justice and Tupac's character Lucky finally kissed. After kind of they went from like a enemies to lovers trope. Before it was really popular. And that was a really beautiful scene. And then I have another in my notes. I say bridge, so I'm gonna look through the three pictures I have and insert the bridge here. But yeah, everything was really beautiful. Oh, I think what I meant is Janet Jackson has this picture. She's on the road, and it looks really nice. So I think that's the third picture I have. Is actually her for the promo, like in the middle of the road, and it looks really nice. And like the scenery is great. I love the cinematography. Okay, and then the poetry, since that is a big part of Justice's character. That's how she expresses herself, and that's how she deals with her grief and other things that she's going through. And I love that they use Maya Angelou's actual poems. And I did look this up before, but they did use Phenomenal Woman. And if I had not looked that up, I would have figured it out. I've been like, that sounds like Maya Angelou. Because I know that poem. But yeah, I did look it up beforehand now. And then she also plays an auntie when they crash this black family reunion. And it's just so funny. And they're like eating, drinking, and mingling, and acting like they belong there. So Maya Angelou does have a cameo as a judgmental auntie. Okay, let me see what's her name. I thought it said Aunt June that she plays. Yep, as Aunt June. So I'm gonna insert the picture of her and the other judgmental aunties. So those are my pros for the movie. I do have one con only, and it's the story, which is like the whole thing pretty much. But really, it's kind of just disjointed. Like, I get it. They need to go on this road trip to like fall in love and stuff, but it kind of seems like there's a lot of like missing connections. Like, why are we stopping over here? Like, if you have to pee, I get it. Um, and I know he wanted to go see his cousin, so that was one stop that I like understood. But it's very disjointed, and I know that like Janet Jackson, her character needed to go to her hair show thing or whatever she was doing. But they don't really develop anything about that. I know it's not really like the main point, but it kind of just felt empty. Like, and I get it, it's really supposed to be about the love story, but it's like it would be nice to keep the story all around cohesive. You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, it just there were a lot of like plots that kind of like happened but didn't like there was no ending to it. Um I'm trying to think what else. But yeah, I just felt like the story like didn't all the way connect. And I kind of feel like maybe there was like if it was just that one whole day and then the day that they make up, which spoiler alert. But I feel like that would have been better because we do see some days in between of like them both working and like doing their own thing, and it's like, is it really important? I mean, it was important for Tupac's character about him being an aspiring rapper, so that those parts I get, but some of the parts of him are just like dropping off the truck, which I know he was supposed to drop off the truck for the uh, mail carrier, but it's like, do we need to really see him dropping off the truck? I guess that was the main point of them driving over to Oakland for his sake. But yeah, that's my only con for the movie. So here's my overall opinion. I think this movie was fun and reflective, a fun and reflective movie. I think the acting was great, especially from Janet Jackson and Tupac. The music really complements the movie and set the tone for the different scenes, like I was saying. The cinematography was great in this movie. And the scenes of the mountains and other places they stopped on their road trip were breathtaking. And I love that the late great Maya Angelou's poems were used, and she made an appearance. I think the story wasn't complete and felt empty in places, like I said. I also felt like disjointed, like I said, also at times. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's mostly enjoyable and a good popcorn movie with some good messages about dealing with grief and developing love. So it's not like a complete popcorn movie where it's like you could just put it on and not really pay attention. I feel like you would get something out of it because I do feel like there are deep parts of it. So I don't want to discredit it 100% as like a total like in the background popcorn movie. All right, so I did this poetry form. Of course, I had to write a poem before, and it's called an into onto. I'm gonna put it in the description. And basically, it's a 7-line poem with the syllables of each line starting with the 2 syllables, 4 syllables, 6, 8, and then it goes back down to 6, 4, 2. And it is an African American form of poetry. Let me see. So, of course, during Black History Month, I had to do at least one um, for the people. So here's my poem, and it's called "Be Careful with Poetry." The title is kind of like the Cardi B song "Be Careful with Me," but you'll see it kind of like goes with the poem. I speak my truth through the words on the page. They flow so freely from my mind and out of my lips so smoothly. I am careful with them. So yeah, that's Poetic Justice. Have you seen Poetic Justice? Is it one of your favorite movies? Is it one of your least favorite movies? Let me know what you think. And it's almost the end of Black History Month, which is crazy. I feel like the month just started. But I hope you all are, doing black things, like going to black events. I need to go to more black events, honestly. But I have been watching black things, listening to black people. We did, music last week, movie this week. We're going to talk about a bunch of books. I've never done more than one book reviewed at a time. But I feel like I've read so many good books by black women this month. I don't want to just highlight one. I want to talk about them all. So that's what I'm going to do next week. All right. Let me know what you think. Happy Black History Month as always. And I'll see you all next week.